A Case of Identity is the third story in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It was first published in 1891 and is a classic example of Sherlock Holmes' extraordinary powers of deduction applied to a mysterious case involving love, deception, and mistaken identity. The story begins when a young woman named Miss Mary Sutherland visits Holmes' office with a perplexing case. She explains that she has been engaged to a man named Hosmer Angel, whom she met through a seemingly romantic and mysterious correspondence. However, shortly before their planned wedding, Hosmer Angel mysteriously disappears, leaving behind only a few odd clues. Mary is confused and distraught, and she seeks Holmes' help to figure out what happened to her fiancé. Mary explains that she first met Hosmer through her father's legal work, and they soon began a correspondence that led to their engagement. She describes him as an enigmatic figure who never allowed her to meet him in person, always claiming to be too busy or that he preferred to stay hidden. Their conversations, however, were affectionate and full of promises of marriage. The couple had planned to marry in a church, but when the day arrived, Hosmer Angel mysteriously disappeared. He had written Mary a letter explaining that he was not able to attend, and he left her heartbroken and confused. Holmes listens to Mary's account and is intrigued by the case. He begins his investigation by examining the circumstances surrounding Hosmer Angel's disappearance. Holmes quickly notices several inconsistencies in Mary's story that raise his suspicions. For instance, he learns that Hosmer Angel had never allowed Mary to meet him in person, and he always gave excuses to avoid direct interaction. Holmes also discovers that the man had a peculiar manner of communicating with Mary, as he often used formal and somewhat stilted language. Holmes is particularly struck by the fact that Hosmer Angel never allowed Mary to see him without his veil or hat, always concealing his face. When Holmes visits Mary's home, he observes that her father is a solicitor and that she lives in a respectable, well-to-do household. She seems to be an intelligent and well-spoken woman, but Holmes can't help but wonder why she had not been more skeptical of Hosmer's strange behavior. Holmes then turns his attention to the letter Mary received from Hosmer Angel. He examines the handwriting carefully and compares it to the writing of a man who had been seen in the neighborhood. His sharp eye catches a detail that leads him to a startling conclusion. He realizes that the man Mary had been corresponding with was not Hosmer Angel at all, but someone else entirely, a man with a hidden motive. Holmes investigates further by setting up a plan to reveal the truth. He arranges a meeting with Mary and her father, and he asks them to help him set a trap for the mysterious fiancé. Holmes cleverly suggests that they meet Hosmer Angel at a location and time where the man will feel compelled to show himself. When the moment arrives, it becomes clear that Hosmer Angel is not who he appeared to be. In fact, he was none other than a man who had been posing as her fiancé all along, using a false identity to manipulate Mary. In the end, Holmes reveals the truth to Mary. Her fiancé, Hosmer Angel, was actually her stepfather in disguise. The man had used a false identity to deceive her, hoping to exploit her fortune and deceive her into marrying him. The reason for his mysterious disappearance was simple. He had never intended to marry her in the first place. Once the deception was exposed, the man disappeared from her life for good. The story concludes with Holmes explaining the reasoning behind his deductions to Dr. Watson. He points out the numerous signs of deception in the case, such as the odd handwriting, the man's refusal to meet Mary in person, and the strange mannerisms that led him to his conclusion. Holmes emphasizes how careful observation and logical reasoning allowed him to uncover the truth hidden behind the mystery of Hosmer Angel. A Case of Identity is a perfect example of Sherlock Holmes' investigative genius, demonstrating his ability to see through deception and expose the hidden truth. The story explores themes of love, trust, and the dangers of being deceived by appearances, showing how even the most seemingly innocent situations can conceal dark secrets. Through his careful observation and logical reasoning, Holmes unravels the mystery and helps Mary escape a dangerous situation, proving once again why he is the greatest detective of his time.